Sweden is planning to bring forward measures to curb gang crime that's risen to unprecedented levels. A new report shows young people in particular are being drawn into a cycle of violence, often being recruited by other teenagers. EW's Teri Schultz has visited the southern Swedish city of Helsingborg, where local activists are trying to break the cycle.
Teenagers shot dead in the woods. Gang warfare has reached such dangerous levels in Sweden, the government has called on the army for help.
More and more children and innocent bystanders are falling victim. I cannot overemphasize the seriousness of the situation.
But increasingly, children aren't just the victims, they're also the perpetrators. Gang members I met say even they are appalled.
When you're 10 years old, you can earn 10,000 euros in 1 month. 11, 12-year-old kids kill each other. People pay 100,000 for one murder, and it's a kid that does it.
And those who've long been working to end such incidents are shocked.
Especially the really young perpetrators and victims. It was impossible to even think about that this could happen here.
Less impossible to imagine in some neighborhoods, like this one in the southern Swedish city of Helsingborg, where there are bullet holes in school playgrounds.
Here.
This is an elementary school. Omar Al-Mali grew up here and is trying to improve the neighborhood.
There are ages you don't need to know about these things. You don't need to know about shooting, about drugs, about these things. You need to be protected.
Teacher Lina Durawi tries to protect students by building trust and intervening if she sees them headed down the wrong path, which she can detect at very early ages.
I can see the 8, 9.
Durawi says the government should put more money into after-school programs as an alternative to the streets, where, she warns, the youth, feeling disconnected from Swedish society, are seeking out the gangs themselves. They see it glamorized in the media and rap culture, she tells me. And teens become the recruiters.
I know friends in my school that sells. He told me, one time he come to me and told me, do you want to sell? I told him, no, bro, why are you doing this?
That's why Omar Al-Mali has set up his own help group called United Brothers. So at least once a week, thanks to the goodwill of his employer, these teens have a place to go.
He inspires us to do good things.
Al-Mali also guides teens to other positive role models, like world champion Muay Thai boxer Mustafa Abutaka. Abutaka wants youth to feel both accomplished and integrated. He purposely trains them under a huge Swedish flag. But like Al-Mali, he receives no government funds and has a hard time finding help. He can't take on more students.
Some people doesn't want to do it for free. I think the government should go in and sponsor more and give us more place to be in and more capacity.
Those who do get in know they're lucky. Aziz says he sees the 9 and 10-year-olds being groomed by gangs and then committing crimes later. At 16, he says he turns away because he can come here.
When I just step in the mat and put my gloves on, I'm in another world.
In the world he leaves behind, the gang members tell me they want to stop other youth from leading their lives. They urge Swedish society to integrate kids from at-risk neighborhoods fast.
Me, I'm old, it's too late. But these kids, they can become doctors, they can become pilots, they can become everything. Show them that.
Omar Al-Mali is doing his best to show both youth and Swedish authorities they have to make good choices now if they want a better future.
A report from Teri Schultz, who joins us now from Brussels. Welcome, Teri. Swedish authorities have been looking into this issue of youth and gang violence, and they published their report today. And what did it say?
That's right, Phil. Today, a new report came out that basically confirmed what I heard firsthand from the teens there in Helsingborg. The authorities found that 12 to 15-year-olds are being heavily recruited into gangs and recruited by the 15 to 20-year-olds. So this might be shocking if I hadn't just been there and heard it with my own ears that this is what's happening. And talk to that teacher, Lina Durawi, who says she can see this behavior already starting to develop at the ages of 8 and 9. So yes, that's very alarming news, but now it's something that the Swedish authorities can work on.
OK, so they're being recruited young, but there's been this surge in violence in Sweden. What's behind that?
You know, these societies feel very marginalized, the societies from which the criminals come, the gang members come. They feel like there's no future for them and that they sort of get thrown out of society, thrown out of Swedish society at very early ages, and then they don't have any other options. This is what some of those gang members told me. And so what the community would really like to see is more efforts to integrate youth, to give money to after-school programs and give them other options, not just this sort of Monday evening that Omar Al-Mali provides himself, but truly structured programs so they don't walk out of school onto the streets where they can be recruited and then go on to recruit other teens.
Now, in your report, we saw gang members telling you that they don't want others to follow in their footsteps. And at the same time, we have this report which seems to indicate that those people, those gangs, are actively trying to recruit teens. What do we make of this disconnect?
Yeah, I presented those different points of view to the gang members themselves and said, look, you guys are telling me that you would have liked to have a different life, but you chose this. And they say they did it for economic reasons. Again, they say that they didn't see any other future and that once you get in, it's impossible to leave. And that's something that was shown in this report that came out today, too, that once kids get in, maybe they're doing small tasks like dropping things off, dropping drugs off, but they move very quickly into more serious forms of crime, and then they can't get out. Then they're stuck. And so the gang members, I do believe them that they would have liked to have a different life, but that's why they came forward. They say that they want to help other youth to find other futures for themselves. But Sweden has a long way to go. Authorities are taking a top-down approach and using more law enforcement to try to stop the violence, and the communities are saying we actually need more help here on the ground to start kids very early toward a different path. So it's a very difficult problem to solve.
Thanks for that, Teri. DW correspondent Teri Schultz.